welcome back to Watercoy for another one. Merry Christmas everyone, Happy New Year. This will be the last one for the year I think, so hopefully you enjoy it. Just a really quick update today. Going to have a look at the UV light and the food and just what it's given me. Mid-water change at the minute. Tub itself doing really well. Haven't got to the point where I've got the food in there that I want to at the moment in terms of the amount. Sort of hovering around three feeds a day. Have got to 4 sometimes. I keep causing myself a few nitrite spikes, so I'm just trying to make sure in such a small amount of water I'm not out here doing a water change every day. So changing it once a week at the minute and seeing if I can push the filter further. But other than that, it's going really well. Getting us good results, which we'll move on to in a minute. What I also want to just run through is the light and the food that we've been using and what this has actually done for the colour of the fish. So obviously we've added this light which we discussed before in the previous video with the UV, 6 UV LEDs in there, and some of the infrared spectrum. And then the food is sake Hikari growth, the medium pellet, mixed in with spirinula, spirage, paprika, chlorella, and another one, can't remember the other one. Borrowing some of the ingredients out of the New Forest Koi mix, not in its entirety, but enough of the colour enhancing stuff to go with the sake food. So really interesting results so far. Definitely noticed a few things. So without further ado, let's have a look at those and I'll show you. So here we are, all the members of the Grow On faculty. It's quite difficult to see the light patch. I've done the best I can. I drained the water right down for this water change. Done a massive one. Don't normally do this much, but I have done this time so I can see them properly. Yeah, so straight away you can see I've had some really good growth on some of them. The Benigoi in particular I think is the winner here. If you look at the size he is now at, he is as big as the Showa that was by far the biggest that went in there with the 3 red spots. The Kindar Star one. Done really well. Colour wise, I'm really pleased with what we've managed to achieve so far. So you'll note my new Kahaku, the Doitsu one that I put in a while ago. The Benny on it has remained as strong, as intense as it was, as has the Sankey from Castlebrook, the Sakai Bloodline one. What's really interesting is some of the Shirros. You can see one in particular has developed some Benny, or some secondary Benny. I'm not sure if that was Benny that you had before that's faded or it's something that's come up, but we're going to go over that in a minute. But yeah, just in growth wise, not many of them haven't grown. I will be looking to do a sort through soon to take out some of the slower growers. Obviously, as some of them are growing, they're adding more bioload, they're creating more waste, etc. So I need to get that headroom back. So I'll be making a few hard decisions, but really pleased with how they're all doing. Right, let's look at that Shiro. So here is the Shiro in question. So what I've done is I've popped up a little video at the same time, reminding you what it looked like when I first got it, when it had all the sumi sitting under its skin. And then I'm going to put up another one, which you'll see in a second, which will show you what it was looking like before it went into the tub the day I put it in. So that was 4 weeks ago that I did that, or just over 4 weeks ago I moved them in, but it's been 4 weeks since the UV light and the food the way it is has been going in. As you can see, I have got some sort of secondary Benny coming up on the head. I don't think it's gonna come through and be mega strong. I don't know if it was there maybe in the first place, or it was young and it lost it straight away, but this has definitely obviously happened with the addition of the UV and the infrared lighting, along with the colour enhancing ingredients in the food. You can see it's got quite a strong shape pattern on the head. The colour's not very intense, but it came from nothing to what it is, so it's now orange. But it's also developing some Benny on its side. If you can see there, it looks like it's got measles almost. Some of the scales showing a flutter of Benny through it. Obviously I'm hoping this just disappears when I drop off the food, etc. And keeps growing as a nice Shiro, because it is, I think, going to be a lovely Shiro looking at the pattern and the way the sumi's developing. Obviously the sumi looking very sharp and it's under heat and it's growing quite quickly. You can see it's put on quite a few centimetres since it went into the tub only a couple of weeks ago, and only really had 4 weeks of getting a decent amount of food compared to what we had before. So very pleased with that. Very interesting as well, when you consider it's just a case of the food that I've been using for the growth, the sake Hikari, mixed in with, as I said, some of the ingredients. The missing ingredient I mentioned was beetroot, so spirinula, beetroot, chlorella, paprika and spinach powders all mixed together, and some propolis. I use the propolis to soak it into the pellet with some water, and the propolis acts as a seal and actually keeps the food in a decent condition for a lot longer, as opposed to having to make up a batch every day, so I can make up a sort of week's worth. And then the UV light obviously as well, adding in, help him pull through that colour pigment. So yeah, I'll try and work out now which ones is. So obviously I've got a starting point. I've added these two things. I've definitely had some change in colour. As you've seen from the rest of the fish, some of them are enhancing again. Some of the oranges are picking back up, back into reds, and the other strong ones are remaining the same. So hopefully that's given some insight. So I think good early indicator. 4 weeks, really impressed actually. Didn't expect to see anything within 4 weeks, if I'm perfectly honest, but straight away it's given us something. It may just be a genetic mutation in this particular fish, who knows. But like I said, some of the other fish that had either Benny that had faded a bit in the time I'd had them with no light has started to pick back up and become more intense. So hopefully that'll continue on its way to red. And the new ones that I put in that were very strong red have remained a very strong red and grown. So yeah, food for thought there for everyone. Another interesting sort of angle to look at in terms when you're doing these grow-ons. If you're buying Tosai, obviously you're trying to grow them on and turn them into big monsters that are show-worthy probably. So something else to consider. So that is it for today's one. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful and given you a bit of insight on some of the other things that I'm testing. I think it's really interesting and it's quite exciting. Yeah. And watching some of that colour and that development happen. So yeah. I'm in here now to do some filter maintenance, so I thought I'd finish up just showing you these guys one last time for the year, see how they're doing in their little winter. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's watched, supported and interacted with me over the last couple of months and support the channel. Really appreciate it. I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas. Happy New Year. I do have some tropical aquariums, bits of people who are interested in. Put in the comments below, I can share some sort of stuff on those if that interests you as well. But yeah, like I said, thanks very much guys, have a great Christmas and thanks for watching. Take care.